content creation is both a creative and usually fun way to market and grow your business. But with so many places to market your content, it can be overwhelming to decide what, how, or where to focus your attention. After all, we know Facebook does not have the same audience as, let's say, TikTok or Snapchat, and the content you choose to put there will differ as well. But it matters less about the content you want to make and more about what your audience will interact with. And my passion is creating the content that the audience wants to interact with. I mean, that is what I focus on daily.
Right.
It drives me.
Right.
It pushes me to be a better creator every single day because to me, since I began creating content and got into this industry, for me, it's always been, what can we make that we like, that we're passionate about?
Right.
But you have to find that happy balance.
Right.
How is it going to appeal to the people who are actually going to watch it? Because at the end of the day, you're never really creating content for yourself if you're showing it to the world.
Right.
And when it came to marketing content, we have to create content that the client needs for their clients to watch and see. And this all stems back to ratings pending. When we had just met, we decided, we realized that both of us had a unique passion for cinema and film, and that we realized also that that's our end goal. We both want to do this and create films for every genre if we can. So we decided to take that and turn it into a podcast. And of course, what's the best niche for us is to do movie reviews. But it's such an overly saturated market. Every other YouTuber is doing a review on movies, music, games, you name it. So what we did to separate ourselves and to draw out more of our creativity was to do skits. And I think that is where we began our path to where we are today, was creating these skits and using our talent and our creativity to put together these entertaining bits that we would do. I mean, we've done some funny stuff. I mean, we mentioned it last episode. I dressed up like the Joker and had my face painted. We did another with a buddy of ours. We did an It video where he dressed up like Pennywise. I mean, we had some really good times. Our Good Boys skit. Yeah. But that all had a purpose to it. And the purpose was to reach our audience and give them content that they wanted to see. Right. And, between the video and the audio podcast, when all was said and done, and we realized that we were doing something, we were onto something, and we were moving numbers. Yeah.
Pamela Anderson.
If
you know, you know.
And if you don't, go check it out.
Go check it out. It's stupid. So these little bits that were fun for us and we got to be creative, they showed us a strategy on how to market for the show. People were coming and watching our reviews and listening, more like listening to our reviews because we were doing funny little bits. Oh, these guys are great. These guys are funny. And it ultimately led us to when we decided to take the strategy that worked for ratings pending and said, okay, well, we're looking at making more money to support two people more than what we would make with sponsorships from a theater. How do we do that? What can we take that was successful from ratings pending and apply it to a business idea? Background in business and marketing, background in content creation, it just kind of made sense and the strategy worked. So we take that strategy and we used it with our clients and it worked for them. And so it formed this idea and this business idea for us. And that's how RSP LLC was born. Right. And recently we decided to rebrand, and now we're leaning more into the marketing duo and the content creator, and he's the content creator and I'm the marketer, and it goes with our personalities. It goes with our strengths, and we niched down, but we wanted to get out and market our business more. We have clients, we've grown and continue to bring in clients, but we're looking to grow even more. Yep. So what worked with ratings pending, and then what worked with our first client and our second client and our third client can work for us too. So that's why we're here. We're creating the YouTube series, getting maybe a couple thousand views on each. And we have the podcast and we get about 1,000 listens per episode. And we create content and funny little bits to support the long form content, which is the podcast and the YouTube. But it's important to understand with all this content, because we're creating a lot of content every week.
Every day.
Our staff is working on creating that content. We're here on off time when we're not with our clients to shoot and create this. It's a lot of content. So what do you do with that content? Because social media, like we said in last week's episode, is much different today in 2021.
It's much different, and it requires you to constantly be up on not only the trends,
right,
but where the age groups are, where the
your
demo
audience
is,
is.
where your audience is, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we have to decide, okay, what type of content are we going to put out to support this? Because
Right.
for us personally as a business, our goal is to drive people to the long form.
Right.
But the short form is what is important for us, because that keeps us engaged with our audience on a day-to-day basis. We develop a brand, we develop a trust, and people start to look at us as those guys, the marketing duo. You know, it's a name we chose strategically because it describes us perfectly.
Right.
And what's important is that we pinpoint where our content goes and the type of content that we're going to put out. YouTube is obviously the place for this, but then our short form content, I mean, if we're trying to reach an older generation, we're going to probably focus more on YouTube. If we're looking for a younger crowd, then, you know, Snapchat is pretty popular for that nowadays. TikTokers are a younger crowd. And then you got Instagram, which is kind of like you're all around. Everybody tends to have an Instagram nowadays.
Right.
And in between the type of content you're putting there and the place to put it, it takes some strategy. And I think the strategy is probably one of the most important parts.
Absolutely. It is the most important part. Content without strategy is a waste of time. It's just how I view it.
Unless you're doing it just for yourself.
Unless you're just doing it for fun. But in the marketing world, creating content with no purpose, with no goal, with no defined ROI and what you're looking for, you're wasting your time.
And your money.
So for us, this is our strategy. This is what we're doing. We know, okay, long form podcast and YouTube. We enjoy doing it. And if we only ever reach 1,000 eyeballs on our YouTube series, if we only have 1,000 listens per episode, and a couple thousand views on our small form content on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, I'm okay with that. If that, in turn, a small business sees it where I'm pinpointing marketing to, and they contract us to do a similar strategy for them. But we have to remember it's about the strategy, understanding Facebook. Who are you reaching in Facebook? How much is your budget to reach them with the content that you or a hired company or marketing duo creates for you? What's your strategy on TikTok? It skews young. It's about trends. It's about music. What content are you creating on TikTok to add value, to build a community around? And then what's your goal? What are you trying to get out of that by tackling TikTok and the demographics that the demographic that TikTok is skewed towards? And that applies to everything. Instagram Reels. But yes, you need to be doing Instagram Reels.
Yes.
You need to be doing TikTok in some form, because for most businesses, there's a benefit in engaging that audience. So strategy and knowing your audience, that's where you need to start. In any marketing plan, build a strategy and know your audience.
The bottom line is it boils down to two things: who are you trying to reach and what will drive them to engage. A common misconception is that views are what get you support and grow your audience, but views matter much less than engagement. Take Facebook, for example. Just scrolling past a video on your timeline, that might have just counted as a view. Your content is the foundation to your marketing, but the engagement is the building blocks to your growth. So while views do have their value, specifically in the mindset that you were successful with whatever you were putting out, or you're getting the reach and the impressions that you're looking for, it's all fine. But many people believe that views are all that matters when that's not really the case. You know, views don't gauge the success of a marketing campaign or a piece of content.
Right.
What matters most is what does that yield? What are the results that come from that amount of views? So what's
Yep.
more important about the views is what kind of engagement are you getting? Are
Right.
people interacting with your posts? Are people responding to them? Are people bringing you that return on your investment? The thing with views is that a lot of times, just scrolling through a Facebook feed, like I said in a hot take, just a couple seconds of viewing that video counts as a view. A lot of times
Right.
people are scrolling through their stories and they see an ad and immediately they click past it. That's a view because the person got a chance to look at it. Now, while they didn't interact with it, it still counts as a positive number when it comes to the views. I mean, even on YouTube, you get a 30-second ad before. Some people might pay attention to that, and that's
Mhm.
great. And they might click the link in
Yeah.
the description or click the link that the website that they're trying to get you to buy the
Mhm.
product. But most people are just waiting for the ad to finish, or they're waiting
Right.
for that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and clicking that skip button.
Right.
But I mean,
Right.
really, engagement is where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the engagement and creating content without a purpose is a waste of time and money.
Right.
Unless you're doing it for fun and you don't have an end game, that's different. But in marketing world, creating a piece of content, if you reach 50,000 people and you have 50,000 views, um but you only get less than 1% engaging with that, that's not a success. You know, there are numbers, and we won't dive into that, but you should be looking at a higher percentage of your viewers spending time and consuming the content that you create. How
Yes.
long do they stay on it? And if you notice, if you look at your insights and your analytics on TikTok, on any platform, Facebook, Instagram, they all have on videos how long a viewer stayed on that video. Facebook, you can break it down and you can say, oh, you can get the percentage of viewers who've only seen 3% of your video. So somebody who've or I'm sorry, not percent, 3 seconds of your video. Someone who looks 3 seconds at your video doesn't get the advertising or the campaign that you're trying to get across. They don't see your story that you're trying to tell. And right now, with the rise of all these social media platforms and these easy to for small businesses and creators and independent artists to market their own content, it's oversaturated. We as users know a large majority of what we view on social media is an advertisement for something, even to the point down to mom and dad trying to sell their air conditioner. You're gonna pop a boost on that and run an ad, and you could see that in your timeline. You could see that in your stories.
Interesting about that is when you are selling something, what excites me when I'm in the process of doing that is when somebody
Yeah.
saves the actual post.
Right.
Then I know somebody's interested and
That's
it's
piece of it.
engagement.
That's engagement.
Right.
So people know you're trying to sell them something. So how do you get them to engage with your content? And I think it's important to understand your industry. It's important to understand your audience. It's important to understand who you're trying to target. But there are a couple things that you can do that are successful. And I always start with you need to be personable and relatable.
Yes.
People, you need to talk to your audience like you're talking to your friend or your mom or your dad, and you're telling them about a cool restaurant or a cool steak you had at a new steakhouse that opened. See, that's more engaging than somebody just standing in front of the camera or more of a canned written response. Be personable, be relatable. What's also popular, especially for services, but this can apply to any industry, educational content. People love to view educational content. People love to learn how to do something or learn how you did something. Those things work very well in campaigns, and also the algorithm loves them as well. Don't be boring, spice it up a little bit. Don't just talk about it. But yeah, that content has a really good engagement rate.
Mm-hmm.
But finding something that you want and a message that you want to get across and being open and transparent about it. You don't have to be open and transparent fully about yourself or something you don't want to talk about, but find what you want to talk about within your lane and within your business and what you want to share and just share it. But also there are things that you can do to get people to engage, right? Google reviews are huge and businesses talk about them all the time. How do I get more Google reviews? How do I get more Google reviews? And that's good. You should be looking at that. But to me, what's more powerful is we take the example of building a house. You know, if that construction company who built their client a house shows the before, time lapse maybe of the process of building it, and then the after, that client who loves their new home has a piece of content to share to their page, to their hundreds or thousands of followers, and say, this company was great. Look what they built for me.
Yeah, people love to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do because all you got to do is pop up your phone and record yourself. Even if it's something short, even if it's just engaging the people that are watching you go through this journey, through this process. People love a story. Document your journey.
Right.
Show people how you got from A to Z. And then it gives them some inspiration to want to know more about you, learn from you, and potentially even buy your product if you're selling something.
Right. And that works. But more importantly, is that piece of content he just explained being shared by multiple different people. See, that content's great, but if you get 50,000 views and 99% of those are 3-second views and you only share it to your audience and you only market it to into your campaign that you've built out on your Facebook business or your Instagram boosts or whatever, and nobody engages with it, then it's a great piece of content. People like to see it, but it didn't do anything.
Right.
What's more impactful is, hey, I hired this company. You see what they did to my house and how they built it? You should hire them too. Here, share it. Maybe that company then also puts in there, tag anybody in the comments who's looking to have their home custom built. We have great rates and we're doing it for great prices and we have many lots available, whatever. That is hugely impactful because people don't want to necessarily hear from the company. They want to hear about other people's experiences. And to me, that's a great campaign for a construction company. Why? Because you're showing them what you do, and then the people you did it for are also marketing for you into their world, and so on and so forth. That's how you build more reach and get better engagement, because people care about what non-marketers or non-businesses think. They care about what their friends and their families' experiences were. And to visualize it is much more impactful than just to say it or write it in text on a Google review. So remember, how long somebody watches your video or your piece of content, and then what they do with it is what matters the most.
Yes, just releasing content on a daily basis is a great way to begin your marketing. But a marketing strategy, that consists of understanding your audience, mirroring the trends, and developing a schedule. A strategic plan pinpointed around your message, but built based on your audience's best interests, is a careful balance that will help you to maximize the return on your investment. So when it comes to the content marketing for your business, it's important to find that proper balance. And by that balance, what's successful at the moment is kind of a 50-50 split. Now, 50% of this content is going to be based off the educational purposes, and the other half is going to be more personal and community-driven content. Now, what do I mean by that? So as far as the educational purpose, let's say, for instance, I don't know, you opened up a steak restaurant and it's new in the community and you want to get the word out there. And your specialty is your filet mignon. Everybody likes a filet mignon, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a good steak? So a strategy you can take for creating content with an educational mindset is that, let's say you film your chef cooking up this steak and you see him cutting up the meat and showing the high quality product that you have, and he's salting it and he's putting it in his pan and sauteing it, and the flames shoot up. It looks good. It brings recognition to your product and your service, and it entices people to come to your restaurant to try this filet. So the other half of the other 50% is focused on the community and the personal. So as far as personal goes, let's say that we're going to take this same chef who cooked this filet, and now we're going to feature him in a short where he talks about his passions and why he became a chef and why he chose your establishment to be a part of. It looks good. It shows the real human side of you, and it makes your audience say, wow, this is a guy who opened up this business. I should go check out his restaurant. And finally, we have more of the community driven content. So we can take the same example. We could talk about this filet mignon, and we can sit there and you can have it nicely cooked in front of you, and you could stand there in front of the camera and simply say, hey guys, we're new to the community. We want you guys to come down here and try out this filet. It's nice, it's juicy, and it's great. And while you're here, do us a favor. Take a picture of it, tag us, put it on social media, and we'll feature you on our social media platforms. And it engages the community, and it's going to make them want to come down and take you up on your offer.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to, and that's a small little example of for a steakhouse and what you can do in your content strategy for your marketing. But you have to remember that's maybe 1 week's worth of marketing. um these strategies are important, and yeah, you can take that same steakhouse and say, okay, well, this week we're featuring the filet mignon, next week we're going to feature this, next week we're going to feature this, next week we're going to feature this, and use a similar strategy for a longer time. And it's important, though, that once you define what that strategy is, whether that's the steakhouse example or the marketing duo example we use a lot, or your business or your brand, um, organizing it and having a calendar laid out, your content calendar. That's what we call it, is our content calendar. Okay, so this is the content that we're going to release this week, and these are the days we're going to release it, and these are the platforms we're going to release it to.
Right.
So using Marketing Duo as the example, we have Monday, we release the podcast. That's our long form content. That goes podcast, that goes vlogcast. That goes out to YouTube and gets uploaded to all podcast platforms. What's the content to promote it? Well, we create a teaser. That teaser is edited up in various ways, and then it's shared to our Facebook pages, our TikTok, and our Instagram stories. And hey, new episode's out. This is what we're talking about. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday focus on the 3 individual segments from our content that we've created, our long form content that we created. These are hot takes creatives. We create something like, using the example we talked about with ratings pending and our little bits, little 30-second clips of funny little things that we did. We take that strategy and apply it to our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday releases, where we prepare and create this content, and our team edits it up, and then we start releasing them on stories on Facebook. And the way we do it is we either have our team, or we do it at night. You take on Instagram Reels and Facebook Stories, and I take on TikTok and Instagram Stories, and we each take it and edit it up right on our phone through the platforms, through TikTok, through Instagram Reels, and then we share the final product to our stories.
Mm-hmm.
So that covers our engagement for our marketing of our company in the Marketing Duo podcast and the training that we're doing. And then on Fridays is our fun day. We love the businesses here in Connecticut. Obviously, we would like to work with more, but we also like to feature the small businesses that really stuck out to us. So we created CT Discoveries, which is us going somewhere. We went to, was it a
brewery last week.
We went to a brewery last week.
Hot dog spots.
Hot dog spot,
seafood place.
Yeah.
We try to mix it up a little bit.
We try to mix it up and get these local businesses and feature them. And we take that content, we shoot it on our phone, and then we edit it up using the same strategy. Instagram Reels, TikTok, and then we use that final content for our stories to engage the other platforms. See, this is our strategy, and this is laid out in our content calendar. So us and our team know, okay, this is what we're working on throughout the week. This is what needs to get done, and these are the days that it's being released at. It's important to, one, define your strategy and what your content strategy is going to be. Mm-hmm. Knowing your audience is first. Then define the content that you want to create to engage that audience. And then organize it. and making sure that everything is just right dress and ready for you. It's a lot. There's a lot of content to create. There's a lot of things to remember, and you don't want to forget. It's important that if you know your audience and you know the strategy that you're going to do in your content creation to engage that audience, this is a recipe for success and long-term success. Focusing on your audience, creating the content to elicit engagement. That's where you're going to see a return on your investment.
Marketing Duo is a premier marketing agency in Connecticut. We offer services to content creators, podcasters, influencers, corporations, small businesses, and startups.
If you're interested in a free consultation or working with Marketing Duo for your marketing, head over to marketingduoct.com and let us find solutions for your marketing needs.